Joe, thank you. One of the industries feeling the lasting impact of COVID-19 is entertainment. Live entertainment like concerts and theater, all of that largely on hold for nearly a year now as the pandemic has cracked down on public gatherings and upended American life. The industry not expected to see any return to normalcy now until the summer of next year. Yesterday, several industry reps testified before Congress about how their business has been devastated by COVID-19. One of the people who testified was Michael Strickland. He is the founder and chair of Bandit Lights, which specializes in lighting at concerts and other entertainment venues. And I spoke to him earlier today about the pandemic's impact and the need for entertainment to be included, as he sees it, in the new round of stimulus relief.
We're not almost out.
One of the things that I always find striking is that when you think of an entertainment venue or think of a concert, you think about, the main star on stage doing what he or she may do. But for every show like that, there is an army of people behind the scenes who make all of that possible, that whole apparatus there. So just talk about the number of jobs that are linked to this industry and how much they have suffered in the 9-10 months since this pandemic really took a grip on the country.
Thank you, Rob, and thank you, WG in America, for having me on here today. According to the U.S. Bureau of Economic Analysis, the live event industry is an $877 billion industry with 10+ million people in it. The compelling fact that we're trying to get across to Congress and indeed to the citizens of America is since March 13th, we have sat at zero. 97% of the people and 97% of the companies have earned no money and had no work since March 13th, and we will not return to work until June or July when the vaccine takes hold. So imagine an industry sitting at zero with no one working. Restaurants and gyms and hair salons who get all the media coverage, they do have it rough, but at least they're open to some extent in sort of a come and go situation.
Do you have any hope? We know word today is that Congress is getting closer to some kind of relief deal. Will that be help specifically to the folks you represent? Are you confident that Congress understands the particular plight of your industry?
We're confident that they understand because I've been lobbying them personally as well as other people for months. The question is, what will they do? The thing that they probably will pass, or we hope that they pass by Friday, will have in it another round of PPP, which is 10 weeks of payroll and enhanced unemployment to allow those people that are unemployed a bit more unemployment. There's also a very critical bill called Save Our Stages, which will provide revenue funding for venues and folks associated with venues, which is great, and that's kind of the beachhead. That's the Omaha beachhead. But as an industry, we have to go up the cliff at Omaha and on to Paris. And the only way to get there is a bill called the Restart Act, because Save Our Stages only provides for about 10% of our industry. The other 90% needs something like the Restart Act, which will give us a long-term loan. Now, it's a loan, not a handout, and we'll pay it back over 7 years. But as I told Congress yesterday, absent Save Our Stages, we will not survive, and here's why. To borrow money, you have to have a profit and loss statement that's positive, a balance sheet that's positive, and an income stream. Live events has none of the above. So if Congress doesn't come through in January or February with the Restart Act to provide a loan to those crushed businesses in our industry, we will simply cease to exist by March.
That's a scary proposition. And also what you said a second ago is that you don't expect the industry to really be back until June or July. Now we're talking about the middle of 2021, which seems like an eternity from now. So despite all the good headlines about the vaccine, which is huge news and great news, the pain from the shutdown and from the economic crisis brought in by COVID is long lasting. We still have a lot of tough miles to go.
Absolutely. And as an industry, we understand why we're shut. We don't argue with that. Until you can have 5,000, 10,000 people in a building, we just can't work. And what we would like the American people to understand, and again, thank you to WG and America for hosting me, is that this entire industry is shut. And we're not just concerts, we're also rodeos and fairs and water parks and independently owned television stations and labor organizations and caterers and even the people that do the birthday parties in your backyard. We're all in the same ecosystem. Of the 3% that are working, that handful is largely in the television business. And indeed, one of your cameramen who spoke to me after my last appearance is an ex-rock and roll camera guy that did video support on rock tours, and he was lucky enough to land a job at WGN America. So, yeah, we're holistically shut with absolutely no path forward other than the Restart Act.
Thanks for letting people know what's going on and what efforts are being undertaken to try to get this industry to a better place. Michael, thank you so much.
An important voice tonight.